Good day everyone and welcome to my channel, Jabarkadaz Positibong Buhay. My name is Jabar and you're watching my latest episode in my channel. And I know it's still ECQ and lockdown, so pag-uusapan natin ngayon, I decided to make a book review. Mahilig din po ako kasi magbasa ng review, so I decided to choose a book. Actually, it was recommended to me by a good friend. And the name of the book is entitled The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Yan po ang pag-uusapan natin. We're gonna talk about it. And I have a few notes here. Ching! I'll share it with you. But before we continue on, I hope that you do not forget to click like and subscribe. Click like and subscribe and share positivity. Maraming salamat po. And I'll see you in a while. And we're back again. Welcome to Jabarkadaz Positibong Buhay. This is my vlog, my channel. Thank you again for visiting. For those who are new here, I hope that you also visit some of my few other episodes. In my first two episodes actually, I shared my personal testimony of a person living with HIV. 5 years na po ako nabubuhay but still healthy, alive, kicking, and still maintaining a happy disposition in life. From time to time nalulungkot but still, you know, isa ito sa mga bagay why I decided to make a book review about this book that I'm going to share, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Siya po yung author. I didn't research much on the profile of the author, but while I was reading the book, medyo mas nakilala ko po yung author. So why this book? Of all the many books, this was actually recommended to me by a good friend of mine, and knowing him, you know, he's an ex-seminarian, and I know that he's very picky with the type of books that he's reading. So it got me interested. Why not read it? Actually, it's an audiobook. So I listened to it a few days ago and so decided to make a review. And so I have some notes here. I'm going to share some few points that hopefully I can encourage you also to read it. And if you have any comments and you'd like to share anything, you can just write it down and comment below. And again, don't forget to click like and subscribe. So let's get it on. So why this book again, and why is the title like that? You know, the way I perceive it, not giving a fuck means you just have to choose what are the things that you want to value. That's it. You just make it more attractive. The good thing about the book is that it's very grounded, it's very real, and it's very honest. That in life, it's not just all about positivity. And ako naniniwala po ako dun. Life has its fair share of black and white, the yin and the yang. You know, it's all about polarities, dualities. It's very paradoxical. So it's one thing that I really appreciate with this book. The author pointed out that it's not just about numbing the bad feelings or the negativity in your life, and because you cannot selectively numb negativity in your life, it will really happen. But the good thing about it is that as you accommodate it, as you try to embrace it and acknowledge it, it allows you to actually manage it and move on with your life in a healthier way, to deal with it with life. Sabi nga niya, di ba? Sabi nga nung author dito, do not wish for a life without problems because it's not possible. Instead, wish for a life with good problems, because if you don't have any problems then you're not alive. You'll always have problems and will always have some challenges. And another thing that I also would like to highlight in this book is that it allowed me to think it over. What are the things that I really value? And so in other words, the author challenges us to deliberately choose wisely our own battles. Ano ba yung gusto natin ipaglaban? Ano ba yung mga big whys, W-H-Y, big whys natin sa buhay natin? And that made me think, ano ba yung big why ko? Sa akin kasi, my number one value talaga, I know I have something to give, and so I do life coaching on a personal level and also on a professional level. I'm helping a group of salespeople together with my partner, and the fruits of my labor sa akin is the reward itself. Not just the monetary ones, but to be able to see them being empowered, improving their lives. That is something that I really value because it allows me to become more aware of my self-worth, and it expands me, energetically speaking. And another thing, when I share my life to the public, that is my battle arena also. When I share my HIV experience when I was diagnosed, that is something that I really choose wisely and deliberately. Where to share. Tama-tama, it's uh, International Candlelight Memorial of World AIDS all over the world. And so we will commemorate it on Saturday, this coming Saturday. Second is also, speaking of choosing your battle wisely, you can only choose your battle wisely if you are self-aware. So self-awareness was another thing that was also pointed out by the author here. So he actually compared it into like peeling an onion. So every time you peel, the skin of the onion, it makes you cry, teary eyes. So that's the pain, the painful experience in our life, because pain is inevitable. You will always experience pain. But in peeling the skin of the onion, it allows you to see your inner core values, principles, and beliefs in your life, and that's make you more aware of the things that you really want to prioritize and that what you value the most. So it's very important that you know your value, because in that way you can choose your battles wisely. Also, another thing that the author pointed out is that a healthy person, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, is a person that has strong boundaries. When you say strong boundaries, you know your space, you respect other people's space in the same way that you respect your own. Okay, you do not please people. Okay? Sometimes conflict is good. You accommodate it, because only in conflict you can also allow yourself to grow and the other party as well. But you should also set healthy boundaries so that you also protect and honor yourself. Sabi nga ni Brené Brown, diba? Vulnerability is the birthplace of creativity, true joy, and true love. But then again, vulnerability without boundaries is not true vulnerability. So there has to be certain limits also in sharing yourself to others. And that is still connected with choosing your battle wisely in what you value the most. Then third na pala, is that uncertainty is the root of all growth. It's good to know that there are uncertainties in life, because when there's too much certainties in life, we might get bored, right? And that's why it's also good to be surprised by life. I've had a lot of surprises in my life so far. I'm 38 and I've experienced fair enough, and I know that marami pa akong may experience. I'm still a work in progress, but life surprised me so much that it empowered me so much also, and in the process gave me an opportunity to have this platform also to share it with others, to empower other people. And so uncertainty is good because it gives us some excitement, some level of interest, which is a good state of mind, and enthusiasm as well. Then the fourth thing that I'd like to share also is that failure is the way forward. This is in chapter 7. That if we allow failure, and that's inevitable, hindi natin maiiwasan, it will give us the opportunity to learn, improve, and become a better person. In the society right now, we are so hardwired to naiwasan ang failure, but the reality is hindi natin siya maiiwasan. J.K. Rowling once said, the author of Harry Potter, that it is impossible for someone to not fail in life unless you have lived your life so cautiously. Then you might not live life at all. You might not as well live life at all, because in which case you failed by default. Yan, ulitin ko lang Ang hirap. English kasi. No, okay, direct take two. Sabi ni J.K. Rowling, one of her famous quote in her speech in Harvard, it is impossible for someone not to fail in life unless you live your life so cautiously that you have not lived life at all, in which case you fail by default. Tama ba? Anyway, in other words, we cannot we cannot escape failure in life because life permits it, and if we could only embrace, accept, own our mistakes and failures in the past, no one can touch us, no one can use it against us. It's one of my philosophies also. That's why I decided to share my life to the public. But I assessed, of course, I discerned about it and I assessed it. Kaya ko ba? It's not 100% when I shared it. Natakot din ako. That was back in 2017. But it gave me a certain boost of confidence and courage to rise stronger and to also share my life to others. And in the last segment of the book, one thing that also captured me, made me believe that this book is worth reading is that there was a part of his life, the author, wherein his brother died. Sorry for spoiler. His brother died, and that he was so depressed, and that it was so difficult for him to move on. The good thing about it is that eventually he also realized he had a dream. Talking to his brother, he was so sorry. He told his brother they were swimming in a pool or something, and then he said, "I'm sorry, you died. You died." And then the brother said, "Don't be sorry for me. Look at you. You're alive. You're still alive, but you seem not living your life." Because he was so depressed, he's not functioning well. He's just wasting his time. And that made him realize when he woke up, he was crying, really sobbing and crying. And then eventually he gave himself a fighting chance to move on and to live life to the fullest. He was able to write this book, and then he postulated the concept of do something principle. What does that mean? Just keep on doing. Nature love actions and movements. And then inspiration will follow. Sometimes I know it's confusing, especially when the situation is overwhelming. Just choose what are the simple steps that you can do. Baby steps now at a time. And eventually it will allow you to move forward. Because the only direction that we can win this life is to move forward. We can pause, we can take a back for a moment, but we have to move forward. And it allows us to also evolve to be a better human being and to be a better citizen of the world, the universe rather. So those are some of the things that I'd like to share, and I do recommend this book. This will give you the permission to be more authentic and more genuine with yourself and with others. It's actually, sabi nga nila, self-awareness is really an inside job. It's allowing yourself to discover who you really are and to embrace and accept the totality of who you are, both the good and the bad, both the mistakes and the wins, and then marry it all together. I remember in the movie X-Men First Class, Xavier once told Magneto, they were just new friends at that time, true power lies between rage and serenity. And that's the middle ground. When we are able to marry the dualities of life, the paradox of life, the polarities of life, good and the bad, the yin and the yang, the light and the dark, death and birth. ugly and beautiful. This will give us enough wisdom to manage our life well. And that's it. I hope that you learned something from this vlog. And di ba ang saya? It's something different. It's a book review. And I hope that you continue to follow my YouTube channel and that you continue to watch some of my other episodes. I'll try to create another one. I may not be that consistent, but I'll try my best to be more consistent this time. Thank you very much. I love you. Continue to live a more positive life and appreciate life, both the good and the bad. It's part of the evolution. If there's one thing that is constant here in our world in this man, it's the process of change. Embrace change, my friend, and you will set yourself free, and you'll become even more powerful. God bless, and have a good day. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe.